Red Canids, if they're allowed to be engaged, if these players start heating up, who's to say that we couldn't go straight to an overtime? They have clambered back 4 rounds straight. And Imperial were feeling comfortable. They were taking risks, they were taking gambles, and they were punished for it. Time in, time out. They'll call that time now to discuss how they want to approach this next one. Because if Hard Zhao starts showing up as well, they just... I'll be completely frank. It feels like they just need 3 players that are completely dialed in here on the Red Canids. And Imperial are struggling at the moment.
Oh no, Vinny's the one actually in middle. This time he's found 2! David and Riggy, both important members as well to actually eliminate. Hard Zhao forced away by the Molotov, and the T's have plenty of space to just reset. Nighton takes the game into his own hands. As soon as he does, he gets flashed right off. Never mind. Oh, Descentis even found him on the reposition. He heard Nighton drop down. Death and Descenti both start off on the B site. Hard Zhao rotates back in. They're ready for him as well. Descenti keeps it going. And Imperial always ready for a multi-frag. Always have the depth of talent. And now it's 13 for them. Red Canids, they had hope. They saw the light, but they just couldn't reach it.
Yeah, I think a little too slow for most of that final map, but they put on a hell of a series. But Imperial always kept that baseline. They still had their consistent fraggers show up, and their team play never escaped them either. There were moments where it felt the Red Canids' communications maybe broke, players weren't performing. On this final map, this feels like this wasn't the Red Canids that had impressed us so far to make it into the playoffs. And against Imperial, sure, they get past that hurdle of always getting 2-0'd by that very team. But when we get to that final map, they were a shell of themselves until we started to see a small resurgence. But they had to be flawless.
You do get to see so much of what makes Imperial such a threatening team as well, though, right? You know, even that one small flashbang towards the end of things where Nighton's getting aggressive with the AWP, that's just a sign of a team that knows the motions to go through even when you're feeling the pressure at the back of your neck, right? I'm sure Imperial would be the first to tell you, hey, we were getting a little bit scared, actually. You know, they were making a comeback happen. We didn't feel like we could get those opening frags, but afterwards, Vinny's the one who takes control in the middle. He gets a double kill, and the flash to force Nighton off, that's what just seals around there and then pretty much. Descenti comes through, closes, very nicely done, very nicely played. Imperial definitely had that baseline, and in the brackets, they're going to move forward. They're going to be playing up against Pain for that semi-final slot. Meanwhile, other side of the bracket will be Imperial, rather not Imperial, MIBR versus Galores as well. This is going to be a very scary time for anyone in the semifinals.
Yeah, Galores is just thinking, wait, where am I? I'm with MIBR, Pain, and Imperial in the semifinals. Am I supposed to be here? That's because they had that massive upset against Fluxo, and it's every game is just going to get harder if they want to maintain any sort of chance in these playoffs. I mean, I've hope for them. I do hope, because MIBR are not going to be easy to put down either.
Well, listen, one of these teams might not be like the others, but Galores might also be faking it till they make it. They can really pull everything together. They've got the firepower to do so as well, but we can only find out on the server. So let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow as well. We won't be here on the microphones with you guys, unfortunately, but we're going to bring up the schedule so you can follow along with that. It'll only be 2 series, so things are a little bit different over there. But Michael, I do think the marquee matchup has to be for Imperial versus Pain, right? I think that's just on paper, that's got to be the series of the entire tournament theoretically, but Imperial's going in this with a little bit of dryness in their throat. They don't feel like they're quite, they're quite ready for the matchup.
I think it's just also the fact that these are the 2 teams that made it to the major. They were able to very much impress loads of the pundits, the analysts, hell, the fans that had really doubted. And hell, I was one of them. I thought Pain wouldn't make it. I did actually have my hopes high for Imperial, but Pain certainly impressed. Imperial showed up to the occasion, and both of them were I mean, teams to keep an eye out for. They fought for extra slots for their region as well for the upcoming major. So even if you were a North American fan, they were all rooting for them as well. It was a weird calamity of the Americas coming together, even though they like to talk smack to each other when they're actually facing off against each other in the server. So that will certainly be the marquee matchup, and it'll be the first one we get to watch tomorrow as well.
Yep, it's going to be 10 o'clock Central European time, or whatever time zone that would be for you guys. And then immediately after that, 1 a.m. nice and late will be Galores versus MIBR. That's going to be semifinals over there. Extra and Fire will be the ones taking you through that one. You guys are in good hands, and we'll be right there in Twitch chat with you. For now, though, we've got to say goodbye, and the RES LATAM series will continue tomorrow.
A very complicated job, but I love simple things so much. One move, one push. One touch. One love. One click. One expect.